Returning now to our studio with more on the incursion of a Syrian jet is Brigadier General Shmueli. Thank you so much for coming back in and speaking with us today. So, first of all, what are your initial thoughts on this strike?
First of all, since I was a fighter pilot and a base commander in the northern part of Israel, so I've been in those situations. Actually, 5 years ago, when the war in Syria started, Syrian airplanes got close to the border, and we had to be very cautious those days, not let them penetrate into Israeli territory. Now, after 5 years, they came back, and they fly very close to the border, and Israel set the line very clearly. We are not going to tolerate any penetration to Israeli territory. And since those airplanes took off from northern part of Syria and they went to the southern part of Syria, we had to shoot them down once they crossed the border. The fact that the airplanes was crashed half a mile or mile and a half inside Syria territory, it's not a fact that is important, because when you hit an airplane, it still fly.
Sure.
So the
fact
wind
that it fell in Syria,
yes,
it doesn't really mean anything.
We have very strict rules of engagement. Every airplane that crosses the border, we are going to shoot him down.
So you're positive that it did cross the border, because Syrian media, of course, has been saying that it approached the border but didn't cross it.
No question about it. It is more than that. We are not going to take any chances. So we have the Patriot, we have F-16s in the air, we have AAA. So there is no way for him to penetrate Israel, and we are not going to shoot him down. And this is what's happened exactly a couple of hours ago. And it's very important that once you have an airplane in the air and he's flying very close to the border, I don't know his intention.
Yeah, you don't know if he's going to cross or not.
Yes, maybe his intention is to hit Syrian targets near the border, it is his business, or he's going to slew it away and going to attack Israel. So we have to be very cautious, very sharp, and very strict about the red line.
So at what point are the jets scrambled and the Patriot missiles fired? After he crosses, or is there kind of a zone that they say, okay, he's close enough?
It's a clear calculation. If he is flying 550 knots and he is 5 miles from the border, it is less than 10 seconds. So we have to scramble everything actually when he is more than 100 miles in order to the F-16 to be ready. The Patriot is ready all day long. The AAA is ready all day long. And now we have to think what's happening. And I highly recommend, and we gave a lot of messages in many languages to the Syrian armed forces, don't get too close to the border, because it's not safe for you to fly too close to the border. A pilot, a Syrian pilot, even he doesn't have any intention, he can make a mistake.
So first of all, is it safe to assume that Israel coordinated this strike with Russian forces?
We have a very close relationship with them. We have a deconflictions agreement with them, but we are not able to coordinate every interception that happen in real time. They know our red lines, the Russians. The Syrians have to know our red lines. And if we are talking about yesterday, the Iranians also have to know our red lines. But now we are talking about a Syrian jet airplane that was flying inside Israel, and we had to retaliate immediately.
Okay, so my final question, maybe even the most important, is if everything that you've been saying is true, which means that the Syrian plane was preparing to enter Israeli airspace, regardless of whether or not it did, what was it intending to do? Was this a fact-finding mission? Was it going to attack? What do you think the intentions of this jet was?
There is an intense fighting in the southern part of Syria. I don't have a clue if his intention were to attack Israel or not. The issue is that we can't take any chance. Yes, he crossed the border. Once he crossed the border, we are going to shoot him down. This is exactly what happened. Maybe his intention were to attack Israel because of an order or his own decision, maybe not. It doesn't matter. He crossed the border. And we set those red lines very clearly, and what's happened today, it's like what happened 4 years ago, and it will happen tomorrow. They have to be to fly far away from the border because it's dangerous to be near the border of Israel.
All right, Brigadier General Shmueli, thank you so much for coming back in today and joining us.